I want to introduce our next speaker. He will be giving a keynote. He is the co-founder and president of the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute, which is an organization dedicated to the cypherpunk, cryptographic, and economic ideas that have shaped Bitcoin over the years. He's been in the space forever. He's amazing. Please welcome Michael Goldstein.
Hello. So my name is Michael Goldstein. I'm the founder and president of the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute. And today I want to talk about the Nakamoto Institute as the library of Bitcoin. Ainsworth Rand Spofford was appointed Librarian of Congress by Abraham Lincoln in 1864 and served until 1897. And he said, "It is a fact pregnant with meaning that the nations which possess the most extensive libraries maintain the foremost rank in civilization." Ainsworth Spofford was the one who took the Library of Congress from a small research library in the Capitol building for Congress members, hence the Library of Congress, into the National Library that we think of it today, including building the famous Thomas Jefferson building that it's housed in. And he took these ideas very seriously to turn the library into a symbol for the whole nation and the intellectual, cultural, literary output of the nation. And I want to dive into some of the ideas that he had about what made a great library. So we're going to talk about some of the pillars of the National Library. First up, there's a comprehensive collection. He said it's a library of completely encyclopedic range. Congress members needed to have a place to research where they could have access to any possible knowledge they would need to make decisions on the bills they were working on. And so the Library of Congress could not just have a few government documents. It needed to have a whole range of any possible thing that a Congress member would need. Second, the Library of Congress was to be the story of a nation. It was supposed to hold and preserve and present the story of a nation by collecting all of the original documents illustrating the history and biography of the nation. And this included maps, this included periodicals, it included music and art, and any books that were produced within the United States throughout history, in order to tell the full story of the full America, which is obviously a very big and diverse nation. Third, accessibility for all. The library was not, once it became a national library, it was no longer just a place for congressmen to come and study the works of what they needed to make decisions in Congress. Instead, it was a place that all Americans could visit to learn what they needed for their own personal, business, civic lives, and to have a share in that story and heritage of America. Finally, there was the idea of permanent preservation. He says, not for one generation alone, but for all time. The Library of Congress, originally housed the books of Thomas Jefferson, but it was not meant to just end with Thomas Jefferson's death in 1826. It was meant to span the entire life of the United States. And so the Library of Congress continues today, and hopefully it will continue well into the future, being able to tell the story and preserve the history of the United States. Just as the Library of Congress is the National Library for the United States telling this story, the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute preserves the story of Bitcoin. And these same principles that motivated Ainsworth Spofford very much motivate the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute. First, a comprehensive collection, a multidisciplinary archive for all aspects of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a very interdisciplinary subject. Once someone gets into it, they find out it's not just magic internet money, but that magic internet money is built on a whole web of ideas ranging from computer science, economics, politics, history, game theory, and so on and so forth. And so the Nakamoto Institute has to come together and provide the literature that people can study to have a full range of understanding of Bitcoin, no matter if they're a key holder, a node runner, a miner, a policymaker, a politician, a academic researcher, or anyone else who has any need to make a decision about Bitcoin. The Nakamoto Institute has information that helps them comprehend Bitcoin as a whole. Second, the Nakamoto Institute tells the story of a coin. Bitcoin was built on many traditions, from the Austrian economists to the cypherpunks and crypto anarchists to the free software movement and so on and so forth. And from that, we get a fuller Bitcoin tradition that has emerged from it. And the Nakamoto Institute proudly shares all of this prehistory of Bitcoin to have a full sense of all of the ideas that Bitcoin stands upon, the shoulders of giants that Bitcoin stands upon, that we continue to build on today. And this actually includes works by a distant descendant of Ainsworth Spofford, the great Bitcoiner Parker Lewis. Third, accessibility for all. Bitcoin is a global permissionless network that anyone can take part in. Anyone can run a node, anyone can hold keys, anyone can become a miner, anyone can be a part of Bitcoin. And likewise, anyone who can have a part in Bitcoin should also have access to the knowledge they need to understand this technological gift that they're working with. So because of that, Nakamoto Institute remains a free and open source library for all, so that everyone around the globe can have access to this information. And we continue to add more content in more languages as much as possible. Finally, permanent preservation. We too need to pass down this knowledge from generation to generation. And because of that, our current phase of the Nakamoto Institute is focused on adopting institutional-grade digital archival standards to help make sure that this information is kept safe and secure and kept with integrity for perpetuity. And because we are Bitcoiners, not only can we just have digital documents, but we can make use of the Bitcoin blockchain in novel ways, such as using open timestamps. So we plan to adopt open timestamps as a way to be able to make sure that future generations know when they're receiving documents about Bitcoin's past, they know that it's the same documents that were intended to reach them many years prior. The famous Czech novelist Milan Kundera said that the struggle of man against power is the struggle of memory against forgetting. Having a strong library, a digital archive that maintains and preserves the knowledge that makes us understand how Bitcoin works at a deep level, not merely its basic how it sends, but fundamentally what it is, why there are 21 million Bitcoin, why we run nodes, why we hold keys. All of that information also needs to be passed down to future generations in order for them to fully appreciate and make use of Bitcoin. And so the Nakamoto Institute works to provide this generational knowledge for generational wealth. So visit the Nakamoto Institute at nakamotoinstitute.org in order to learn more about this history and get a deeper appreciation, a deeper knowledge and understanding of how Bitcoin works. And if you would like to contribute to our mission of sharing this knowledge with generations to come to make sure that Bitcoin stays alive with the same vigor and understanding that we have today, and even more so as we build on it, visit nakamotoinstitute.org/donate to help contribute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. One more round of applause.